Okay, so today, we are going to be writing a screenplay. I'm also going to show you guys, I guess, my whole creative process as far as ideation goes. But first things first, if you are new here, if you haven't written a screenplay before, some things I might suggest to you really quickly. Check out some screenwriting software. It's the first thing you'll need to get started. There's free versions of screenwriting software like Celtex, I can never really pronounce it, this one right here. Writer's Duet is also pretty good, Writer Duet. I'm using Final Draft. Final Draft is kind of expensive. I got like the student discount a long time ago, but it is like the industry standard. So if you want to be up on your craft, power is out. Wow. I know who this is, Trey, right? Retrograde 94, bro, you're a real one. Watch it on the celly. Appreciate that. But yeah, Final Draft. Grab that if you want the industry standard. It's really good. It's worth the money. Yeah. All right, let's keep things going. Also, I don't know if this is gonna be reverse flipped or whatever, but Story by Robert McKee, also a must-have if you're trying to become a better storyteller. It is not like your traditional screenwriting sort of guidebook. It's not going to really show you how to specifically format your script. It's not going to tell you what to say when you're writing certain situations, but it's going to definitely influence the way you think about storytelling, about story itself. And that is, in my opinion, leagues more important than just learning how to format a script, right? Like interior, exterior, blah 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 blah. I mean, we'll get there. But yeah, okay, cool. So find yourself a good book. If you are really interested in writing like feature-length films, you should check out Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. That's also a really good one. Hold on, let me pull it up for you. Big Blake. Rest in peace. Blake was the GOAT at breaking it down for student filmmakers in a simple, digestible way, as far as like storytelling goes. Third piece of advice would literally, it's simple. It's just, just read scripts, write scripts. Find the script that you want to read online. Let's see. Using words outside Ebbing, Missouri. I'm sure you can find it. Boom. I don't know if this is, I actually don't know if this is illegal, me showing you this right now, but this is one of my favorite scripts. I bought the book too, so whatever, man. I paid my dues. But yeah, find a script that you really enjoy or a movie you really enjoy. Find the script for that. Read it again, and then read it one more time. And then just, don't copy, but, put down what you feel like you got to put down on this blank canvas. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Figuring out where to start here. I think we might as well just launch into it, right? We have literally less than 2 hours to write a piece of godly work. It's not going to be that good. It might be pretty good. Another pro tip, if you ever encounter a writer that is like both internally and externally confident, it's a bad writer. Writers should be externally confident. Yes, writers should talk like they know what they're talking about. But if you encounter a writer that's like, yo, my script is dope, and anything I touch is fire. Oh my gosh, bro, it's a fraud. It's a fraud and a hack. I promise you. 9.5 times out of 10, it's a fraud and a hack, and a piece of garbage. They don't know what they're doing. Real writers are extremely insecure. How about that? Somebody hashtag that. Okay, but let's get serious. Let's just go. We got an hour and 55 minutes to write an entire screenplay. So, where should we start? Let's see. Oh, okay. So I posted a poll on my Instagram probably about exactly a week ago that was asking people, when you're writing a short, what's the best place to start? Plot, character, setting, theme, and then the final multiple choice answer was all of the above. And most people got the correct answer. It was all of the above. Um, you can start wherever you want to when writing a short, when writing a feature, when writing a pilot, whatever you're writing. You can start with any specific element that feels comfortable to you. Me personally, I like to start with theme. Theme is the soul of your story. It sounds so corny to say. You can drop a nerd emoji in the chat if you want, the bucktooth glasses emoji, but I mean, I don't care. It's the truth. It's the truth. Theme is the soul of your story. It's the message. It's the entire point. It's the reason we're here. So, freedom. I don't know what that means. Freedom. I don't know what that means, but yeah. Well, yeah. Freedom could be a theme. Typically, yeah. Freedom is the theme of One Piece. Is it? Is it? What is the theme of One Piece? Maybe it is freedom. Maybe it is freedom. Sorry. But yeah, like a good theme, I think typically has like okay, yes, confirmed. Freedom is the theme of One Piece. That's a cool theme. I think like a really great theme always has is usually like a sentence or two long. Like a theme could technically be like revenge. A theme could be sacrifice. A theme could be love. A theme could be redemption. But I think a theme is always stronger when it has when it says life. And this isn't mine. I'm taking this from somewhere. I can't really remember where right now. I'll give credit if I can like think of it. But it's like a great theme tells you what life is like and why it's like that, or what life is like and what you can do about that. So, for instance, let's start with like a one word. Let's start with redemption, right? Say our theme, and honestly, I think this is just going to end up being the theme for what we're writing today. Redemption. All right, what about redemption? Let's be kind of generic. Let's just say it's never too late. It's never too late to be redeemed. It's true, all right? It's true. It's never too late to be redeemed. No matter what. All right. Redemption. It's never too late to be redeemed, no matter what. So once you have your theme, let me do this real quick. This is one of my favorite things to do. Let's say, of all the elements that I think you need to put together like a strong story right off the bat, just like a skeleton, I think you need theme, plot, character. And all of these things equal a good story. And I like to just I kind of invented, come on, what are you doing? I'll do it down here. I kind of invented this ridiculous formula. It's P plus T times C equals story. And if we're pretending story is just like your constant, a constant value, like 10, and you know your other value, let's see, like for instance, right now we know our theme, this can be whatever. It's an analogy, right? This could be 2. We know this. If we can find our character, let's say a character is 3, then we can easily figure out what our story is. Obviously, it's not like literal math, but you get the point. We can easily find the plot if we know the theme and the character. And 10, story S stands for a good story, right? But let me change that back. I don't know if that was that or what, but it doesn't really matter. P plus C times T equals S. All right, so we have our theme. It's never too late to be redeemed, no matter what. Let's find our character. I always find it a little bit easier to find your character after you find your theme rather than the plot. Maybe I'll explain that a little bit more later, but let's focus because we only have so much time. All right. I think our character is going to be named Alan Rich. No. It sounds like Alan Rich. I don't like that. I hate that. Alan Little? No, I hate that too. Somewhere somebody is actually named Alan Little. Maybe they're watching. If so, I apologize. Alan Park. Fine. Alan Park. All right. So we've got Alan Park, right? We have to determine what kind of character Alan Park is going to be. So when it's time to learn, it is time to learn. Thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna make sure everybody leaves here learning something, right? We're all gonna make it out the hood with this lesson. Alan Park is. All right. Let's just do some characterization. When I say characterization, I mean like finding just mostly surface level qualities of your character. Nothing like deep character searching. So his characterization. Did I spell it right? Yeah. Cool. Might include adjectives like rough, rugged, 50s, ex-gang member. Why not? Felon. Oops. Felon. And when you're doing characterization, always remember to give your character good and bad attributes. Characters are people, right? Characters are people too. They, regardless of the person that you hate the most in this world, they have some good attributes. They have attributes that somebody enjoys. So let's say this ex-gang member, felon, rugged, rough, addict might also have a sweet tooth. Got a little bit of sweet tooth like me. It's a mother's boy. Maybe he loves animals. He's an animal lover. Okay. All right, that's enough good stuff. Back to the bad. He is, man. He's a potty mouth. All right, it's a potty mouth. So, right now, Alan Park is a rough, rugged, 50-year-old ex-gang member felon. Recovering addict. Let's call him a recovering addict. Maybe he got off this stuff in jail. With a sweet tooth. He's a mother's boy. Soft spot for his mommy. He's an animal lover and a potty mouth. Right? Okay. So, we know this about Alan. Okay. One thing I want to show you guys as well. And everybody pay attention, all right? This is where, what is this? This is where it's gonna get good, right? Kel's Moyer called out of work for this. Let's go. I'll take a shot for that. All right, big dog. I got the Canadian Miss, the Slum Special. I got the Canadian. I don't know if you can see. I can't tilt it. There's alcohol in it, but it's the Canadian maple leaf. All right. It's really good. All right, so let's do this real quick. One thing that I learned not too long ago, character building. Oh, actually a long time ago, but character building defines your plot. It's a fun thing to do, right? Right now, sheesh, I'm on an empty stomach, so that's straight to my bloodstream. That's nice. All right. One thing that we want to do after characterization is figuring out your character's wants and your character's needs. These are like deep character things. What does my character want? What does my character need? And we'll talk more about these things after we get into this. So, every character, every protagonist that has ever existed, ever, has 4 attributes. You might not always see these attributes. You might not always detect them. You might never detect them in some characters, but I guarantee you, every character written after like 1950 or whatever has these 4 attributes. Let's go ahead and list them out. Stop doing that. All right. Every character has an emotional scar, and this emotional scar informs the character's psychological flaw. Right? Psychological flaw oftentimes informs this character's external want, their desire. And the external want doesn't always inform this next one, but it's always, I shouldn't say always, it's usually incredibly has an incredibly ironic relationship with this element, which is the internal need. Wait, did I do that backwards? No, I think that's right. Yeah, that's right. All right, so every character has an emotional scar, which lends itself to their psychological flaw, lending itself to the external want, lending itself to the internal need. Let's take a traditional example like Batman. I'm gonna call this ES, emotional scar. Batman's emotional scar. Batman watched his parents die as a child. Call him Bruce, Big Bruce. Watched his parents get killed right in front of him. That's good. That is an emotional scar. That's gonna mess up anybody, right? It's gonna really suck and really manifest itself in his psychological flaw. Batman's psychological flaw is, I would say he's got he's got plenty. I would say like the stronger ones is like, and this is just my perspective. Oh my gosh, how do you spell this? His pathological hatred for criminals, right? It's kind of like where the Batman memes have come from recently, where it's like somebody jaywalking and Batman pulls up on him, fully suited up, and breaks their legs. Pathological hatred for criminals. And some people might be like, oh, that's not like a psychological flaw. But I mean, if you really look at it, it is. What he's doing is like entirely illegal. It's in a lot of ways like extremely immoral. And I think, again, that's where like a lot of these memes are coming from. The idea that like these people who are, the product of a broken, impoverished system of Gotham are sort of being like hunted by this rich billionaire. Anyways, another one might be another psychological flaw informed by the emotional scar might be his detachment from society, and maybe even like an inability to have normal relationships. All right. So from this from this psychological flaw, we can find his external want. His external want is to what? Like be the guardian. I don't think I spelled this right. I never spelled guardian right. Oh, cool. I got it. Wow. Nice. To be the guardian of Gotham. He wants to be the arbiter and judge of criminals, right? He's not a lawyer, right? Oh, he's a kind of a billionaire genius, but my point is like he's a vigilante, and vigilantes aren't real, obviously, because I mean, if we really think hard about it, it's kind of like a moral gray area, like what they do. But yeah, so we got Batman, emotional scar. Bruce watched his parents get killed right in front of him as a kid. Psychological flaw, pathological hatred for criminals. Yes, detachment from society, inability to have normal relationships. Guardian of Gotham wants to be the arbiter and judge of criminals. All right. His internal need, his IN. Let's say this is like the Dark Knight, because these things will change. The Dark Knight. In the Dark Knight, his internal need is to relinquish his reign in Gotham. Give the city to Harvey Dent, right? And like a lot of times you'll have like these mirror characters just flat out say it in the middle of the film, like what the character's need is. Like Rachel, is her name Rachel? I don't know what her name is. The romantic interest, I think it's Rachel, in Batman. Can somebody confirm that? Is it Rachel? Yo, Vibe Blizzard, yo. H. Lyons. I already took a shot. I'll take another one when I start actually writing this this 10 out of 10 script. But yeah, so his internal need, Batman's internal need is to relinquish his control, to take off his mask, right? And these are like directly in conflict with his external wants, as they should be. They need to be ironic. Story loves irony. Drama, comedy, they love irony. But I hope that makes sense, right? The whole like point of the Dark Knight in Gotham was to sort of just like hold over the city, like as far as like crime goes. He was supposed to just like be the person that like keeps things under control until Harvey Dent can just like step up, take the reins, and become the White Knight of Gotham. But that doesn't happen, and Batman stays the Dark Knight of Gotham. And that's why The Dark Knight is like actually like a super cool film. I really enjoy it because it sort of subverts the idea that, you know, protagonists are always going to step back away from their want and slide into their need. Batman doesn't do that. He's incapable of doing it forever and ever and always. Let's take a look at like another example, Midnight Cowboy. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, by the way. This is more for me than anybody else. The emotional scar of, I can't remember the guy's name. What is his name, dude? Midnight Cowboy. Joe Buck. Alright, the emotional scar of Joe Buck. Joe Buck was this like playboy kind of character that in the very first scene we see him like working at a diner or getting ready to go to work at a diner. A job that he is way too, I guess, like, I don't know, like free-spirited for. You can tell like the very first second you see him that he's just kind of like this like rambling, sort of like cool dude that feels like he can't be pinned down, almost like this roaming cowboy. However, his emotional scar comes from, it's actually pretty dark. So he was like, I think sexually abused by his grandmother, I think it was. And that lent itself to him sort of like seeing himself only as being like eye candy, like a male body for people to sort of just like oogle. He sort of only found his value in that. And that's why when the story goes, like he hitches a ride to New York City to become like a gigolo, like a male prostitute for older women. That was like his scheme, his plan, as he left his hometown, and he fails very quickly. So psychological flaw is sees himself only for his physical attributes. I can't spell. It's too late for me. That shot. It's like 2 shots because I'm on an empty stomach. Sees himself only for his physical attributes. Can't maintain any healthy relationship. And this is with friends, family, partners, whatever. External want. To succeed and coast as a male prostitute in New York. His internal need. Dude, a friend. That's it. That's literally the film. Okay, that's not literally the film. But like he needs just like one good relationship in his life. And ironically it comes from his pimp. Halfway through the film. They become buddies, and it sort of like blossoms into this buddy film. You can kind of see the progression here as well, as far as like our little flow here. Sexually abused by his grandmother, which leads to him seeing himself only for his physical attributes, can't maintain any healthy relationships. So he wants to succeed and coast as a male prostitute in New York. And I would say like solo dolo. And what he needs is to be able to genuinely connect with people, not just be doing this, right? This is like the opposite of connecting. This is just, you know, pretending, lending yourself for fantasy. Not that it's like, you know, there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying the way that he was portraying like his wants are completely opposite of what he needs, which is just a friend, it's care, it is a genuine connection. All right, cool, so we got that. And when you do that, for our character up here, you're gonna have yourself a nice little plot. So let's go back to this. All right, so just so everybody remembers where we are. We've got our theme. It's never too late to be redeemed. We've got our character, right? So all we're missing is the plot. So let's figure out Alan Park's emotional scar. What happened to you, man? What happened to you, brother? Let's say, okay, all right. Let's say that Alan Park, whew. All right, we're gonna get heavy just because we have to, because we're running out of time, kind of, and because why not? All right, so Alan Park, when he was a teenager, killed another kid / teenager his own age. Say his psychological flaw is he hates himself. He hates himself. Feels like he can't be redeemed. All right. So what does he want? His external want. What does he want? What does he want? What does he want? All right. So Alan Park might want any escape he can. Ooh, escape's a good word. Let's say escape. He wants to avoid responsibility. He wants to avoid like looking at himself, right? He wants to avoid encountering his guilt. All right. All right. But the key word here is escape. He wants to escape. He wants to escape. So his internal need is going to have an ironic relationship with that, with his desire to escape, right? So what he really needs to do is plant himself, and I would say face, let's italicize that. Face, come on, come on. He needs to face his actions. He needs to forgive himself. He needs to take responsibility. It's too late. I can't spell anymore. Responsibility. Is that it? Okay, cool. He needs to face his actions, forgive himself. He needs to take responsibility. Okay. So we got it. We're getting closer. His want. Escape. Avoid guilt and responsibility. Ooh, 2 for 2. All right. What does he need? Face his actions. Forgive himself. And maybe be forgiven. All right. Okay, so this helps a lot, right? And I'm sure you guys can kind of see why. So it's kind of like, once you have a character, once you have a theme, and once you have the character's wants and needs, you can start to see the actions that the character might take to achieve their wants and in a story like this, and to avoid their need as long as possible. So I'm gonna say maybe Alan Park wants All right, see the plot. Alan Park wants to pull off one last big heist. He wants to rob / cheat / steal his way to $1 million, right? All right. Okay. Oh, and then he wants to escape to Mexico or Cuba. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Yo, F. I really hope that F wasn't for the Batman thing. All right. He wants to rob, cheat, steal his way to $1 million, and he wants to escape to Mexico. All right, cool. Boom. So we got that. All right. Not bad. I pat myself on the back. It's going pretty well. Okay. So let's say, honestly, it might just be time to jump into this. So pull off one last big heist. He wants to rob, cheat, steal his way to $1 million, and he wants to escape to Mexico. I don't think, and I'm just going to do some bullet point notes because these are always fun. He fails. He dies. He recognizes his need in the end. Not immediately. What else? I like the idea of having his mother in it somehow. Faces his mom. All right. That's a good jumping off point. So, quick thing we need to know about short films. Short films are, I don't know, depends on who you ask. Some people will tell you that short films are harder to write than feature films simply because you have to compress a lot of ideas, themes, content into very, very, very finite amount of pages. My short films that I've written typically tend to range from about like 12 to 16 pages. Definitely not going to get there. Definitely not going to even approach that. Maybe we'll hit like 5, 6, 7. But I say that to say, you don't necessarily like change the formula. You still have, for short films, you can still have a beginning, middle, and an end. The thing is, you want to, one like kind of trick that I've learned is you always want to like fall into the action almost. So when you pick up in a short film, you kind of, and I'll show you an example. Let's do this one. If you guys follow me on Instagram, maybe you saw this one already. But this one's called The Great Displacement. All right. We'll read this together like we're in elementary school. Fancy font, super, the end. So that's basically just saying like over black, we see the end written out in like a really fancy scribbly font. Over black, we hear narrator, voiceover. She attended her best friend's funeral with astounding grace. And then we open on exterior, which means outside. Park. This is telling us where we are. So we're outside in the park and it is the morning. Have these 3 details. Fog obscures the air. An older car sputters by, blowing autumn's leaves into the air, only to cascade down again. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, we're at a funeral service. Cara Devley, right here, 10 years old. She's the protagonist, and her close friend, her close childhood friend, has just passed away tragically from disease. And she's at the funeral. And this is kind of what I mean. Like, we don't really do a ton of setup. After this, she basically decides she wants to travel to the other side, the spirit world, and meet up with her friend to say goodbye one more time, because she did not have the chance to say goodbye before her friend passed away. Let's take a look at another one real quick, because time is precious. The Violent Physics of Mercy. All right, cool. Another one where we don't have a lot of setup. This is, let's see, it starts off interior, beaten up car, night. Riot Williams, this is our protagonist, a pair of frigid eyes, sits in the passenger seat of Rashad's car. Rashad is quiet and analytical, the secretly militant type. He wheels the car to a creaky stop at the edge of a sleeping cul-de-sac. In the back seat, Byron and Earl, a set of trickster twins, organize equipment, crowbar, mask, pillowcases, etc. Riot stares at his antique-looking watch. After a few ticks pass, Riot glances at Rashad in the driver's seat, then peeks back at the twins. Masks. They ain't home, trust me. What if we get spotted? All right, basically, we have like four teenagers waiting to go rob a house, right? We just fall into it. There's no like real setup. It's just kind of happens. And it leads directly into like the main conflict, the resolution. Everything just flows really quickly. And that's kind of just what you have to do with short films. So, I say that to say, let's get started. All right, as promised, let's do another shot. Whoo! Somebody better be taking shots with me. I don't know. I don't know who's out there watching. I hope you're drinking though. I need some beef jerky too. Just a tiny piece. Nah, I'm not gonna do that actually. It's gonna be chewing in your ear all day. All right. Where are we at? All right. Okay. All right. Pinky's up. This script is about to be trash. Okay. That Canadian missed. Whew. All right. All right. Here we go. So, we know we've got Alan Park. Traditionally, you would not just do this. You would not just hop right into a script. I'm just doing this for, I guess, comedic effect, I guess. I don't know. But normally, you would figure out what your log line is, and you figure out your synopsis, you would write out your breakdown, and then you would launch into your full script, your full story. I don't have that kind of time. So Alan Park, I'm just gonna list out some characters I could see in this, and then maybe a few other details about it, and then I'm just gonna go for it. Alan Park, protagonist. Oh man, I really suck at coming up with names. If you guys want to drop some names in the chat, that'd be dope too. I'll use some of your names. We need a name of an accomplice. Man or woman, doesn't matter, just like an older, grizzled felon as well, right? Who is his accomplice? How do you spell accomplice? Cool. Accomplice. I want Alan's mother to be in here. Let's put Mrs. Park. Let's put... I kind of see him like maybe robbing a bank. Maybe... yeah, robbing a bank. Bank teller. Come on, guys, give me a name, please. Give me a name. I need a name. All right, fine. I'll do this myself. I got this. Accomplice's name is. Oh man, I'm so bad at names. Richard? No, it's so stupid. How about, maybe it should just be like a nickname. No. Jacob. Jacob what? Come on, guys. Johnny Cage. Jacob Cage. Jacob Cage. Thank you. Snap, tap, tap. Thank you for that. All right, Jacob Cage is the accomplice. We got Mrs. Park. We got the bank teller. That should be enough. I want to see some other elements I would like to see in the script. Maybe some magical realism. That's kind of like one of my favorite tools. Maybe we'll see. Ooh, ambiguous ending. Totally open-ended. All right. Look at this, guys. Look at the progress we've made. This is actually not that bad for 41 minutes, right? Okay. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay. All right. One sec. Okay. All right, cool. So let's get started. We've sort of done our due diligence here. Let's leap in. So when writing your script, you're gonna want to start with your slug line, right? That's either interior, it's exterior, or sometimes it's both. Whoa. And then from there, you describe your location. So let's say interior, exterior. Let's say Alan's car. Let's say it's the morning. It's like a hot morning, right? Interior, exterior, Alan's car. Alan's car idles in the parking lot of a suburban bank. He eyes the entrance with a misplaced anger. All right. A shotgun rests on his lap. All right, so basically what I'm doing right now is I'm putting in some action lines, describing the scene so far. What I'm kind of seeing right now is Alan getting ready to, I guess, go rob a bank. We'll have his accomplice. What's his accomplice's name? Jacob Cage. Let's do this. These parentheticals in here, it means off screen. So we're hearing this person, but we're not seeing them. Jacob Cage says, I think we're good. I think we're good. Alan holds a walkie-talkie to his mouth. Copy. What I'm gonna do right here, when you see words in parentheses right underneath the character's name, this right here, it's just sort of like describing something that's too minute to put into an action line. So let's say with glum. Copy. All right, see what we got so far. Alan's car idles in the parking lot. Okay, actually, sorry, let's start from the top. Interior, exterior, which means the scene is about to be both inside his car and outside of it. Interior, exterior, Alan's car, morning. Alan's car idles in the parking lot of a suburban bank. He eyes the entrance with a misplaced anger. A shotgun rests on his lap. I think we're good. Jacob Cage. Alan holds a walkie-talkie to his mouth with glum. Copy. I want to make this a little bit more clear that Jacob Cage, his line is coming from the walkie-talkie. So these will echoes. Cool, I got it. Jacob's voice echoes from Alan's walkie-talkie. All right. Okay, guys, look at this. Look at this. We're doing great. All right. So I think we're good. Jacob's voice echoes from Alan's walkie-talkie. Alan holds it to his mouth. Copy. So let's think about this really quickly. I feel like I get the feeling, and I have to sort of just like go off of feelings right now because I don't have time to think critically about this. I get the feeling Alan is a little scared, but he shouldn't be. And he himself doesn't expect himself to be. So I think he's a little confused, a little conflicted. I think reluctantly, Alan steps out of his car. He winces at the sun. It's called the naked. He winces at the naked sun and pulls his gun out. Yeah, he winces at the naked sun. All right. All right. Oof. Technically 4 shots in, because again, empty stomach, 2 shots, that's 4 shots technically. We're being technical. Oof. Let's get this done. Whew. All right. A flame emoji. Appreciate that. Appreciate your support. Appreciate the heat. It is hot in my house. Reluctantly, Alan steps out of his car. He winces at the naked sun and collects his gun in a duffel bag. Nervously. Now let's do that again. Alan checks over his shoulder nervously, then pushes forward towards the entrance of the bank. No mask. Alright, so we're marking another scene because we're changing locations. So he enters the bank. Interior bank, continuous, because there's no time gap between these 2 scenes. If there were a time gap, if let's say maybe we were, instead of having Alan go into this bank, maybe he went home for lunch instead for some reason, you might put like interior Alan's kitchen afternoon. But that's not the case. Alan's about to rob a bank and maybe die. All right, interior bank, continuous. All right. Suddenly cool. Alan struts to the center bank. Do this bank teller. Anytime you introduce a character, you're supposed to put them in caps. All right, Alan's car feels, so we got to introduce Alan too. Rookie mistake. Alan's car idles in the parking lot of a suburban bank. Alan Park. Usually you'll describe important characters as well. Let's see. A fidgety. Let's just be artsy fartsy. A fidgety canvas of tattoos. Oh. All right. Allen Park, a fidgety canvas of tattoos, eyes the entrance of the bank with a misplaced anger. A shotgun rests on his lap. I think we're good. Jacob's voice echoes from Alan's walkie-talkie. Alan holds it to his mouth. Copy. Reluctantly, Alan steps out of his car. He winces at the naked sun and collects his gun in a duffel bag. Alan checks over his shoulder nervously, then pushes forward towards the entrance of the bank. No mask. Interior bank, continuous. Suddenly cool, Alan struts to the cinder bank teller. Yeah. Just so you know, I'm going to be rereading a lot of stuff because that's kind of the process. Just to, you got to reread stuff, say it out loud, just to make sure it's all sound. Sometimes reading things in your head is not enough. Oftentimes, that's the case. Suddenly cool, Alan struts to the center bank teller. Gun hanging by his side. Let's see. Frozen expressions of fear. Stare in his direction from all around. The bank teller motions for, let's see, what are those things called? Motions for the security button, right? Oh gosh, what do we want to call this? I think we call it. Oh my gosh, let's just call it the blissful end for right now. All right, Alan. All right, so what we have here is the first part of the scene. Interior bank, continuous. Suddenly cool, Alan struts to the center bank teller, a gun hanging by his side. Frozen expressions of fear stare in his direction from all around. The bank teller motions for the security button on the bottom of her desk, but Alan's too quick. He cocks his gun and points it. Hold on, little lady. She freezes. He's over. She stops. All right. She stops, unable to speak. Cool. All right. All right, so here we are. Hold on, little lady. She stops, unable to speak. Too shaken to speak. Alan, come on now. Hands where I can see them. The bank teller pushes away from her desk and holds her hands in plain sight. Okay, so I'm thinking we have Alan. Sheesh. This is the part where it's just like nothing but ums and uhs and pacing in circles, trying to like figure out what is actually going down in your scene. But what I want to happen is for Alan, I want Alan to see something in the bank teller that he finds regrettable, right? Like I want him to like stop here. I want him to hesitate. I want him to freeze up and I want him to suffer for it. Like I want him to not pay attention to his surroundings. Maybe like a sniper hits him in his shoulder or something because he like isn't quick enough to get in and get out. Because of the bank teller, because he like has like some sort of pity here for her. And I think what it might be, honestly, is like going back here. Let's take a look. Let's refer back to our sheet. He wants to escape. He wants to avoid guilt and responsibility. And this is his direct way of doing so, right? He's about to rob a bank, make however much money he can, go do it again somewhere else, and escape to Mexico or Cuba or something, South America, wherever. So let's see, something about this conversation that he's about to have with the bank teller, I think, could trigger his inability to avoid his guilt, or his inability to avoid the responsibility of his actions right here. In a feature film, you might have like some setup where you see flashback, like earlier in the film, you see flashbacks of like him as a kid, and maybe, I don't know, he's got like a soft spot for a certain person and she looks like this certain person, and like he freezes up and he has like a quick flashback of this person. He's like, oh my gosh. I mean, I know that's terrible, but it's like, you know, services. And in that hesitation, he, boom, takes a bullet to the shoulder or something. But let's see, I don't want to do that. So let's figure this out. Bank teller pushes away from her desk, holds her guns in plain sight. All right, she stands. All eyes are on them. All right, so he's staring her in the face. He's growing uncomfortable. He's not sure why. A tear rolls down the cheek of the bank teller, and maybe she whimpers, please don't. Okay, tear rolls on the cheek of the bank teller, please don't. All right. Okay, so what I'm thinking is gonna happen here is we're gonna forego a little bit of like context right here and pick it up later, a few pages down, I think. So just bear with me, right? Please don't. Downstairs, a little too long. So he stutters here, trying, like, coming to again, sort of like snapping out of his trance. Money. I need all of it. Let's say another much older. All right, so another much older bank teller arrives at, oh gosh, now we gotta give her a name now. Okay. Let's see. call her Joyce. Let's call her Joyce. Alright, so suddenly cool. Alan struts to the center bank teller. Joyce. Gun hanging by his side. Alright, cool. Oh, so we gotta go and replace all these. Alright, hold on 1 second. Oh my gosh. Whatever, I'll do it manually for now. Joyce. Joyce. All right, you get the point. Whew. 1 second. Let me get some water. All right. Let's see. Cool. All right. Another much older bank teller arrives at Joyce's side. He offers up a case full of cash. Alan, let's see, let's just change this later. Alan scans him anxiously. What is this? Older bank teller. It's not my first time is what it is. In reference to being robbed. All right. Going somewhere. Alan snatches the case. Weighs it with his free hand. It's inked. Check for yourself. Alan checks over his shoulder. He holds his walkie up to his mouth. Door doubles the double doors. All right. So let's take a look at this real quick. So far, we have Alan coming into the bank. He struts up to the bank teller, tells the bank teller Joyce, Hands where I can see them. She begs for her life. Before he can even ask, after he asks for the money, a bank teller, another older, more experienced bank teller arrives at Joyce's side. He's already pulled out a certain amount of funds, and he offers them to Alan, stating that it's not his first time being robbed as a bank teller. Alan snatches the case. He weighs it with his free hand. He says, "It's inked," or "Is it inked?" For those of you that don't know, a lot of times if you ever plan on robbing a bank, I suggest you don't. They will, I think, like, they'll do something to the money so that, like, once you handle it, you'll become, like, covered in ink. I think sometimes there's, like, a projectile ink cartridge or something in there that, like, shoots ink at you if you, like, try to, like, handle the money, so police can, like, quickly identify you. So Alan here is asking, "Is it inked?" The bank teller is saying, "Check for yourself." Alan's not going to call his bluff in the middle of a bank robbery, so he checks over his shoulder. He holds up his walkie to his mouth and asks his partner, Jacob, "Clear." By now, it's kind of should be assumed by the audience that Jacob is somewhere in the parking lot or somewhere out, keeping an eye out for the cops. Alan keeps his gaze on the double doors. No response from Jacob. So let's have Alan panic a little bit. Panicking. "Jacob, are we clear?" No response. Alan squints through the glass. And spots a rogue officer crawling behind a car in the parking lot. Now, I don't swear, but I will swear when I write. So Alan's gonna see, he's gonna use the F word, guys. He's gonna use the F word. He's gonna say F under his breath, right? He's not just gonna stand there and scream it, right? He's just gonna be under his breath. Dang it! Ah, man, they got me. Maybe we'll see. We don't know yet. Actually, I already told you. He probably dies. Okay, so he's caught. We know that now. He fumbled. He stared at the young bank teller Joyce too long. He didn't keep his wits about him. He's screwed. He's done. So what does he do now? Let's take a look at this character again. Ex-gang member, felon, recovering addict, sweet tooth, mother's boy, animal lover, potty mouth. He wants to escape. He wants to avoid guilt and responsibility. So if he wants these things, this is what he's going to act on. His mission suddenly becomes, instead of making $1 million, it's just escaping. This is a character I think that values avoiding himself, avoiding like looking in the mirror, more than living like a luxurious lifestyle. If he could live a luxurious lifestyle but have to look himself in the face every morning, and like meditate on his guilty conscience, I think he would go insane. But if he had to live in squalor, but you know, he could be free and like free to avoid his guilt and his shame and his responsibilities, I think he'd be okay. So right here, Alan, he doesn't want to approach the double doors. That's the last thing he wants to do. Alan turns back to Joyce. Points his gun again. Get up. Come on. Come on. Come on, come on. Come on. Yes, I am always this bad at typing. Come on. Alright, get up. Come on. He gestures for Joyce to crawl over. Actually, no, they can't usually do that. Alright, so he gestures for Joyce to come around through like the bank's employee saloon door. That's like that like little flap door that they sometimes have to just get in and out of like the area that separates them, like where they're sitting, so they can do their bank business. And she follows his instructions. Say Alan. Oh my gosh. Wow, I spelled that right. No, I didn't. It's over with. Alan occasionally checks through the glass to keep an eye on the position of the police. Oh my gosh, 48 minutes, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, Alan occasionally checks through the glass to keep an eye on the position of the police. All right, so it's kind of tough. I kind of don't want this to go on much longer here in this scene. I'd rather get to where we're going next. So instead of having this turn into like a hostage situation, I think what I'm going to do is have it almost turn into a hostage situation, and this is where Alan gets shot. Right here, right before he can get this plan in motion, where he's got Joyce as his meat shield. Let's say a split second before Joyce arrives in front of him. All right, so let's take a look at this real quick. Let's start from right here. Alan keeps his gaze on the double doors. No response from Jacob. So at this point, we know that Jacob is pinched. He's done for. He's probably already arrested. Alan panics. He says, "Jacob, are we clear? Are we good?" Still no response. Alan squints through the glass and spots a rogue officer crawling behind a car in the parking lot. At this point, Alan understands. Okay, this whole thing is going up in flames. He says the F word under his breath. Alan turns back to Joyce. He points his gun again. "Get up, come on, come on, come on, come on." He gestures for Joyce to come around through the bank's employee saloon door. She follows his instructions. Alan occasionally checks through the glass to keep an eye on the position of the police. A split second before Joyce arrives in front of him, the glass doors shatter and a sniper's bullet tears through Alan's shoulder. He collapses. As you are known to do if you are hit by a sniper. He collapses immediately and drops his gun. Let's have him say the F word again. Just have him a little bit louder. Tell us how's the... Alright, so he's like full-blown panicking, right? He collapses, drops his gun. Oh my gosh, no. before he can reach for his gun again, let's say, the bystanders and the bank tellers disperse. Zipping, sprinting through the opened door. Alan pushes himself up against the bank's counter, clutching his, it's gushing shoulder. Yeesh. Definitely hit an artery or something. Alan pushes himself up against the bank's counter, clutching his gushing shoulder. POV. Alan's vision wobbles and fades, but we see heavily armed personnel storming towards him. The militaristic barks of SWAT team members drown out in a drown out in a white noise. Alright, so basically the sequence that we've just written is Alan's partner getting pinched, Alan getting pinched, well, Alan getting shot. And he is fading out, losing a lot of blood, about to lose consciousness. And we got to kind of decide where we're going to go from here. And we got 40 minutes to finish this thing. So my magical realism senses are tingling, and I think this would be like a cool moment to sort of have him descend maybe into like a almost like a comatose hallucination, or maybe just like a dream, like just like a blood loss kind of dream, where he maybe encounters his mother, Mrs. Park, and I'm gonna take the shot, by the way. Chasing that one. All right. So, I don't even remember where I was. Oh, right. So I think he maybe like has like this like fever dream, sort of like dream where he sort of like stumbles into like maybe his childhood home, and like I kind of like to do stuff like this where like he maybe takes a seat next to his mother on the couch, his old withered like kind of like ashtray mom, and on the TV maybe they're watching like his surgery, his life-saving surgery that he's having at the hospital because an enormous bullet has just ripped through his shoulder. Maybe they have like some sort of like conversation that's not necessarily like heartwarming, but it's like contextualizing, giving us like some of the setup that we missed. You know what? Let's just get there. All right. Ooh, we can do the open ending too, because it's like we maybe don't find out if he survives. Okay, cool. So all right, let's read this back. Alan occasionally checks through the glass to keep an eye on the position of the police. A split second before Joyce arrives in front of him, the glass doors shatter and a sniper's bullet tears through Alan's shoulder. He collapses immediately and drops his gun. F. No, F. Before he can reach for his gun again, bystanders and the bank tellers disperse, sprinting through the open door. Alan pushes himself up against the bank teller's counter, clutching his gushing shoulder. POV. Alan's vision wobbles and fades, but we see heavily armed personnel storming towards him. The militaristic barks of SWAT team members drown out the white noise. Okay, cool. So he's pretty much gone. Let's just say black. Okay. So let's skip ahead a little bit. Let's do another slug line. So we're changing the scene. We're going to say exterior. Let's say hospital. Doc. Still the morning, but there's been time between, so we're not going to put continuous. A wailing ambulance screeches to a stop at the drop-off point. At the hospital drop-off point. At the emergency drop-off point. What do you call those people? Paramedics. All right, paramedics rush towards the back and begin to unload Alan on his, what do you call those things? Are they gurneys? Gurney. Yeah. Unload Alan on his gurney. And they hastily wheel him. They hastily wheel him into the hospital. All right, we're gonna go back through this at the very end and make sure that this doesn't sound super stupid. All of the just the way it was written. All right, wheel him into the hospital. As we approach the hospital entrance towards the hospital. As we approach the hospital entrance, the automatic doors glide open, revealing a void. Black nothingness. The paramedics push Alan through. Cut to, I love how it does that. All right, cut to, let's say interior. Say Miss Parks. Is it Alan? Is it Alan Park or Alan Parks? Alan Park. Cool. All right, Miss Parks. Let's say trailer home night. If you ever want to add more details, just add another hyphen and then put whatever you need. So we'll put like dream or flashback. Flashback or dream? Sometimes you can just put flashback and like people will understand that it's not necessarily a flashback. It could be a flash forward, it could be a dream sequence, it could be whatever. But the like device is the same. It's like you're cutting away to go somewhere else, different part of time, maybe different like universe, to go experience something else. So, interior, Miss Parks, trailer home, night, flashback. Let's actually do exterior. No, yeah, interior. Alan looking unscathed enters into a rundown looking home. He stands for a moment, soaking in the location? All right. I can't even spell that right. Interior, Miss Park's trailer home, night, flashback. Alan seemingly unscathed, so he's just like in a completely different universe. Or, well, in this case, he's like in a dream sequence, sort of just hallucinating from like blood loss. Comatose, we'll call it. So in his coma, Alan is having this dream. Alan, seemingly unscathed, enters into a rundown-looking home. He stands for a moment, soaking in the location, trying to place it in his memory. Alan hears the digital buzz of an older television emanating from the paneled hallway. He curiously follows it. All right, and sometimes and this isn't like a rule, but like a lot of times when you have like a location within a location, instead of doing like a whole new slug line like this, you can just do like kitchen, or in this case, living room. Alan steps into a decrepit. I'm gonna spell this wrong too, huh? Hold on. Let me see if I can get this decrepit. Spell check has ruined. That's not what I'm trying to spell. Decrepit. All right. Alan steps into a decrepit living room and peers around. He notices a woman on the couch. She smokes. And doesn't heed his entrance. Okay. So here we go, sort of bringing to life this like sort of a dream sequence where Alan is meeting his mother in this coma. we kind of assume it's not like a real thing. It's sort of just like his brain maybe preparing to die and doing whatever it can to sort of like find peace before it does that. So he steps into this trailer park home, let's say his childhood home, and finds his mother on the couch. She's smoking. She doesn't really heed his entrance. Alan takes a seat beside this woman, and we notice her withered and wrinkly face. This is his mother, Mrs. Park. They squint. Wait, no. Alan stares at his mother for a moment. The same look that he gave the bank teller washes over his face. And then his mother says, "Take a freaking picture. It'll last longer." Alan gets the message. He returns his attention to the television and frowns at what's on. On the screen, all right, so on the screen, surgeons hover over Alan's nearly lifeless body, desperately trying to save his life. Let's keep it simple. One doctor tends to his wound. Another doctor tries to administer life-saving. What would you do? Let's just say CPR. All right, so that's probably not correct, right? Right? Yeah, say CPR. Yet another doctor tries to get Alan more blood. A blood transfusion. Alright. Sweet. Okay, so for those of you that are lost, Alan has been shot. Alan bled out in the bank. He lost consciousness. He's been taken to the hospital. As he enters the hospital, it's like signified by this, right? It's signified by, or, where is it? Okay, yeah, it's signified by this. As we approach the hospital entrance, the automatic doors glide open, revealing a void, black nothingness. The paramedics push Alan through it. So when the paramedics push him through that, it's supposed to like symbolize him sort of crossing over, sort of maybe kind of dying. We're not too sure yet. But we know that something's happening. It's not just like a loss of consciousness here. It's sort of like Alan's soul might maybe be departing from his body or something. Either way, it doesn't really matter. We don't have to know. What we do know is that Alan, his consciousness, his soul, his like whatever is left of Alan, winds up in this strange sort of like scene from his past, right? Interior, Miss Park's trailer home, night, flashback. Alan, seemingly unscathed, enters into a rundown-looking home. So he makes his way into the trailer park home that he grew up in as a full-grown adult, right? This is sort of like this weird, like dream-like flashback kind of thing. And he makes his way through the house. He hears like the TV on. He goes through the hallway and like arrives in the living room where his mom's on the couch smoking, watching TV. He takes a seat next to her. You know, this is sort of like alluding to their like terrible relationship. She doesn't really like even like look his way. She just continues smoking. He looks at her. She's like, "What are you looking at?" And they both continue watching TV, where the only thing that's going on is like Alan's surgery. Like we're seeing like in the real world, we're sort of like watching the real world unfold via the TV that they've got in front of them. So in the real world, Alan is literally dying, and as we see here on the screen, the surgeons, the doctors are trying to save his life. Okay, cool. And one thing that I always really like to do, and I love to do it, I love to have like at least one really super poignant conversation in the short films that I write. So like one conversation that helps the protagonist get from point A to point B, or point Y to Z if it's like the end. Sometimes I feel like it might be a little bit lazy on my part, but usually I spend enough time working to make it like not cheap or like gimmicky. So I'll show you that process here. What we need to get across to our main character, what we need to get Alan Park to understand is the need. He needs to face his actions, forgive himself, and be forgiven. So let's get there, right? Alan cringes at the scene, slowly realizing it's him on the table. And his mother's gonna ask, "What did you do this time?" Sort of implying she is sick of him, and kind of has this relationship with him where he's like always getting in trouble, and it's always like affecting her in some way. In a sense, I think we can like extrapolate from this that Alan has ruined Miss Park's life, not only his own. So slowly realizing it's him on the table, Alan cringes. Miss Park, what did you do this time? Alan squints, trying to remember. I think I hit a bank. I think it went wrong. Oh, Miss Park is sort of like taunting him here with this line. Oh, he's suicidal now. Taunting. Oh, he's suicidal now. Alan retorts. No, just as ambitious as ever. Sounds like you were more desperate than ambitious. To which Alan doesn't respond. Beat. Beat just means pause. Like a moment goes by where nothing really happens. Alan's just sort of like soaking that in. Alright, so let's review this back and forth real quick. So on the screen, surgeons are trying to revive Alan. Alan cringes at the scene, slowly realizing it's him on the table. Miss Park, what did you do this time? Alan squints, trying to remember. I think I hit a bank. I think it went wrong. Miss Park, oh, he's suicidal now. Alan, no, just as ambitious as ever. I think. Miss Park, sounds like you were more desperate than ambitious. Alan doesn't respond. B. Oh, yeah. I think I remember another beat. There was this teller, bank lady. Yeah. She reminded me of Miss Mayfield, my elementary school librarian. Miss Park looks at her son for the first time. What, are you kidding? Alan shakes his head. He shrugs. He dwells. Alright, so here what we're trying to accomplish visually is to get basically to get Alan from kind of A to Z, right? So what he needs to do is face his actions, forgive himself, be forgiven, yada yada yada. What he's kind of in the process of doing is realizing what he was about to do was wrong, was evil. He could have, and this is like a gateway for a lot of people, like a lot of people who like struggle with doing wrong. It's like, to understand what they're doing wrong, first they have to see that what they're doing wrong is hurting like someone that they deeply care about. Obviously he was at a bank where he didn't know anybody, but he saw this woman that he like apparently like genuinely cared about when he was a kid. Maybe this librarian was very nice to him or something, and he saw her face even for just a split second, and that like frazzled him. And he realized, I wouldn't want to hurt that woman. I wouldn't want to hurt a woman that looks like that. I wouldn't want to hurt like a woman in general, kind of. Or that's sort of like the mental, like Slinky going down the stairs that's like happening in his brain. It's just, he's realizing, oh, it's wrong. And it's obviously like not the most ideal way to have, for anybody to realize what they're doing is wrong. It's like, like, it's sort of like the argument where it's kind of like a man sort of just like, I don't know, just being like a jerk to women because he feels like he can be because he's young, handsome, or whatever. And then he has a daughter, and he's like, oh, well, I don't want like men to be, you know, that the way that I was to women, to, you know, to my daughter. It's kind of like, well, it shouldn't have taken you that long and to realize that this was like a terrible thing to do. But of course, not everybody's perfect. However people get to, you know, however people get to their final act, their growth is however they get there. So it's better than him not getting there, so we'll keep it. And it kind of plays because he is, I mean, he's a very emotionally stunted human being anyways. So it kind of plays. Anyways, are you kidding? He says, I wonder what she would think if she saw the way I turned out. Oh my gosh, 14 minutes. All right, guys. All right. Let's get this done. Alan shakes his head. He shrugs. He dwells. I wonder what she would think if she saw the way I turned out. Oh, here he goes. Still taunting him, still teasing him. Their relationship is just so like twisted and rotted that there's not much that Miss Park is gonna. She's not gonna evolve in this scene, but Alan could. Let's see. Or they're not gonna like grow any closer in this scene. But it's not about them growing closer. It's about Alan being able to sort of like return to this, see where he's coming from, see what happened to him as a kid, and like understand that no matter what he went through, what he's doing is still wrong. All right, Alan shakes his head. He shrugs. He dwells. I wonder what she would think if she saw the way it turned out. Oh, here he goes. No, I'm serious. Miss Park lights another cigarette. Okay, let's see. All right. 8 minutes. Okay. So what we have here is what I was talking about, kind of. We're trying to find a way for Alan to forgive himself, maybe even like symbolically. So let's see. Let's start from here, bottom of page 4. Miss Park says, "Sounds like you were more desperate than ambitious," when referring to his bank heist attempt. Alan doesn't respond. Beat. Alan. Oh, yeah. I think I remember. Beat. There was this teller, the bank lady. Miss Park. Yeah? Alan. She reminded me of Miss Mayfield, my elementary school librarian. Mrs. Park looks at her son for the first time. Miss Park. What, are you kidding? Alan shakes his head. He shrugs. He dwells. Alan. I wonder what she would think if she saw the way I turned out. Miss Park. Oh, here he goes. Alan. No, I'm serious. Mrs. Park lights another cigarette. Mrs. Park. You know what I think? Alan. I'd rather you didn't say, Mom. She shrugs. Long silence. On screen, the doctor seemed to panic. The heart monitor becomes erratic. The lights in the house begin to flicker, eventually going out one by one. Alan. Ah, I guess this is it. Long silence. Alan. I'm sorry I was such an awful kid. Mrs. Park. Don't start that now. Alan. Is it too late? Miss Park grunts, nothing intelligible. She notices her son sulk quietly. Mrs. Park. You want to watch something else? Alan's eyes are locked to the screen. No, I think I need to see this. The final light goes out, but the TV's light remains. So in this sense, by forcing himself to watch the TV, watch himself die, he's kind of doing this, facing his actions, forgiving himself. I don't know if we got the be forgiven part. I think, actually no, I think we kind of did. We kind of did get the be forgiven part. This is a device that sort of acts as that. Long silence. Alan apologizes. I'm sorry I was such an awful kid. Miss Park says, don't start that now. He says, is it too late? And she just grunts at him. But she notices her son sulk, and then she says, you want to watch something else? This line right here is a peace offering. It's sort of her accepting his apology in her own way. So in a way, we kind of did get the be forgiven part. We got him to face his actions. We got him to forgive himself. It's a little rushed. It's a little hurried. But when things are like, when things like are a little like cliche like this, where it's kind of like, oh, of course, like everything works out. I typically like to layer that with like a lot of contrasting like tone and elements. So, for instance, the way that Miss Park speaks to Alan is really cold, crass, and like cynical, which sort of offsets like the really happy, honey, sticky, like cloying sweetness of the moment, like him finding forgiveness in himself. So that feels like it kind of balances out. All right, we got 4 minutes. I don't think we can even read this in that amount of time. But yeah, actually, let's try. Interior Alan's, no, I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna do it. Okay. But yeah, I think we might have accomplished this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to save this, save as, we'll call it this for right now, the blissful end. Boom, I'm gonna save it as a PDF, and I'm gonna upload it to my Instagram, maybe my website, which is gonna be coming out pretty soon too, but I'll for sure upload it to my Instagram today, tonight, or maybe tomorrow, and that way people can go and check out what we got done. Boom, 6 pages, a short film, guys, start to finish, beginning, middle, end. Beginning, he is getting ready to pull off this bank heist. Middle, it goes terribly, terribly wrong. End, he watches himself die in this weird projected flashback with his mom. Magical realism saves the day. Cool, great, we did it, guys. Nice, nice, nice. I hope everybody learned something. And yeah, I'll be answering questions maybe on Instagram later this week. But yeah, I'm also going to chop this up and probably put it on YouTube and use it for some reels and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully you'll see it again. If you missed any parts of it, you'll see it all come to life in the form of short form content at some point later. So yeah, for those who are still here, if there's anybody still here, thank you guys for catching this, and hope you found it useful. And yeah, go check out this entire script at some point later. Read it, tear it apart if you feel like it. Tell me it sucks. DM me, I don't care. Do whatever. But whatever you do, keep learning, keep growing, and keep becoming a better writer. All right, guys, thank you so much. Hope you guys have a great night. Take it easy. Bye.